Hello, my name is Christopher Collins. I am a student in the ERE 220 class, Research and Education, and I'm here to conduct my final presentation on our research paper. And my topic is surrounding graduation and retention rates at colleges and higher institutions here at Fresno State, and it's looking at or examining the actual need for sophomore collegiate support programs. Um, just to give you a little bit of background about my topic, I'm pretty sure as most of us know, or when we came to college, or what we see now, or in years past, is that when students do come to college, the freshmen, so to speak, immediately they're taken on. They get all these program supports. They get all this help. There are all these programs, resources, aids. People are willing there to come and help, and they're just given this great big welcoming, or this great big introduction to the university. And so, going into the freshman year, once this happens, you're like, okay, this is something I can do. You got all your, friends, and it's just a great new experience, and it's eye opening for you. And there are a lot of people in your corner. However, the minute the second year comes, or the sophomore campaign comes, um, for some reason, which is currently being worked on or fathomed now as to why, um, a lot of these supports are withdrawn. Students feel kind of left out. They're kind of just walking the wilderness or in a state of moratorium. And so, just looking at information, or just reviewing literature about this topic, I came to find out that the time between students actually coming into college and by the end of their sophomore year is where the highest dropout or attrition rates occur. Just for an example, here at Fresno State, that's where our highest dropout rate is, and that's at a 21.6 percent rate, and that's found from Fresno State's Office of Institutional Effectiveness. So it seems as if sophomore students are really just left out in the dark, so to speak, once they enter their sophomore campaign, or they're done with the freshman campaign. Um, a lot of attention is being looked at as far as implementing programs to help these students, because this attrition rate and graduation rate is so high. Um, some places that really have done a great job of implementing programs are Northern Illinois University. They have an entire second year program, like an entire experience. You get to live in a dorm with sophomores that are just like you. Another thing is you get to there's an honor society that promotes academic excellence. So if you have a 3.2 GPA or higher, you're able to get into this 50 maximum person sophomore honor society. They also have sophomore days of service, which help the students promote a connectedness with the community, and doing civic engagement works. And they also have a series of workshops and events just to get the students, involved with the campus, because they want to basically promote what they did in the freshman year and push it along towards the sophomore year to decrease the attrition rate. And that's at Northern Illinois University. Another university that has a sophomore program that's been in the works for about 8 years now is there's one at Colorado College, which is a small liberal arts college. It has about 500 sophomores in their program, and they have a 90% graduation rate. There's 2,000 students total, so they are small, so it's kind of makes it a bit easier. But some of the things that they do in their programs is that they're real big on dinners. Like, they want their students to intermingle with their faculty, and so they do that over a series of dinners, where they talk about things such as future aspirations, major selection, careers, getting involved, and they just really want the students to just have, like I said before, just have an experience to where they feel connected, where they aren't, I guess, shunned out in the cold, and that's what can be apparent at a lot of universities. Um, and studying also about sophomore collegiate support programs, it came to my attention that program emphasis revolves around some factors, and the biggest ones are career exploration, getting engaged with the university, whether that being in participating in events, outcomes, orientations, just being involved or doing stuff on campus, and possibly or looking at possible career avenues. Those are some of the real pushes for program initiatives for sophomores, and in doing so, when sophomores get involved in programs that actually emphasize those factors, they're able to create a sense of worth. So if they see that they don't have a major, which a lot of them really don't, and they actually come to the agreements with a counselor, or finding a major, they're able to work in promoting, press on towards small goals, like possibly passing a class, or getting a good grade on this assignment, which will eventually translate into them getting experience or some type of I guess leeway into their career possibility that they might have chose or decided on within that sophomore year. So working on initiatives or factors within the sophomore, I guess, developmental phase is key into pushing them along towards the next ranks in the collegiate atmosphere. Another thing that I saw that played a key role in sophomore, I guess, graduation and retention, was race. Um, well, I'll just give an example here at Fresno State. As far as graduation and retention rates over, I believe I'll just give you some numbers over. I believe it was, I have here 12 cohorts, and there was an overall um, there's an overall average attrition rate of 21.6% of sophomores who are dropping out from their initial semester to the end of their second year. So like I said, that 21% percent attrition rate occurred, and of that, of 36,058 students who entered during that time, 7,788 students ended up dropping out. So that's a lot of students. And then as far as ethnicity is concerned, looking at the National Center for Educational Statistics, as far as sophomores are concerned, from the initial year, attrition rates for minorities was at 26.3%. For Native Americans, it was at 32.8%. But for their white counterparts, it was at 19.7%. And this is based on data from the National Center for Educational Statistics. So it seems as if you're a minority, it's kind of harder, because you have to deal with certain factors and issues that I guess the predominantly white mainstream culture, I wouldn't say doesn't have to do, but they're less prevalent. And then even here at Fresno State, 5-year graduation 5-year graduation rates for African Americans are at 35.8%, and this is over a 7-year period from 2003 to 2011. And once again, African Americans, their graduation rate was 35.8%. Hispanic students had a 45.8%. But white students had a 60.9% graduation rate over that same time period. And what's kind of I guess something to really look at is Fresno State is considered a Hispanic serving institution. And a Hispanic serving institution is something that's defined as an eligible institution that has an enrollment of full-time equivalent students at a 25% rate of the student population. So basically, more than 25% of students here at Fresno State are of Hispanic or Mexican American or some type of lineage of some type of that lineage. But if they're supposed to be this Hispanic serving institution and they can't even get that demographic to graduate over a 50%, I guess, grade point, it kind of, might want to wonder where the actual priority is, or just it might want to, just put that much more emphasis on the need for a sophomore support program. Well, what I would do in actuation or in trying to get this sophomore support program here instituted at Fresno State is that I would institute my experiment would be the institution of a sophomore awareness survey. This survey will be composed of 5 questions, which will basically target key factors that affect the sophomore and their overall development. I'll just read to you I'll read to you the actual 5 questions, and they're based on a Likert scale of 1 to 5, and so a 16 will be a passing score for this survey. So for sophomores who get higher than a 16, they would be seen as adequately progressing within their class rank. But for those who don't, it would be best to see that if they don't utilize the resources on campus, to see about possibly implementing a program for sophomores specifically on campus. I'm going to read these 5 questions for you based on the Likert scale. It's I have used resources in campus resources to help me choose a major. I have spoken with faculty, staff members, and career counselors in creating a path for a prospective career choice. I have established relationships with faculty and staff that are beneficial and support my educational goals. I have engaged myself in the campus community and have developed a sense of belonging, leadership, and networking. And the last question is, I feel that the university supports me in my educational endeavors. So all those questions pertain directly or exclusively to sophomore program initiatives that have been talked about nationally. And so seeing where sophomores' attitudes are, or what levels or what areas or which question they may be lacking in, or which questions serve to have the greatest promise, that would be some of the data that I would look to retain or extract once sophomores take this survey. This survey will be given to all sophomores on campus, because I feel that if all sophomores are actually measured along the lines with this survey, then we have greater information to see what their needs are. We're not specifically catering towards a specific demographic or a specific variable, although variables will be recorded such as age, sex, major, things of that nature while they're filling in the survey. But just to get a whole synopsis of the actual sophomore class will be great, and going forward to see which initiatives or which things need to be included in a possible sophomore program in the future. Also, with the procedure or implementing this sophomore awareness survey, it will be a post and a pre-test. So the sophomores will be given this survey prior to a school year and after a school year, to see if they've grown, if they've started using some resources, if they've become more engaged because of learning something while on campus. So just to see what type of growth would be from a pre to a post perspective would be a procedure or an orientation as to how the instrument will be disseminated. Also, the prime participants within my experiment would be all sophomores here at Fresno State. All of them need to take it just so that, like I said before, we have a great synopsis of the program. Going forward, I would hypothesize that from the pretest, 50% of the students would not have a passing score, which is a passing score of 16. And this is because, like I said before, we have this great attrition rate of 21.6% here at Fresno State. And a lot of sophomore